limited understanding. See? Understanding the way your body language adds to how you communicate is vital for good verbal communication. So, if you want to become a good speaker, not a public speaker, but you want to improve your speaking skills, you have also to observe your verbal communication. How do you use your body languages? How do you see? How do you use your hands? The posture and other things as well. But if you use an inappropriate body language, and then you also destroy or distract the overall message you are trying to communicate orally. There is now an exercise. Speak what you have summarized in the previous exercise to your closest person and take turns. We are talking about speaking, not reading. Speak what you have summarized in the previous exercise to your closest person and take turns. After that, share your observation you had when you were speaking and when the friend was speaking to you in relation to developing verbal skills. So the first thing is that you sit with someone. If you are three and then three of you are going to take turns, speak what you have summarized, okay, to someone. Listen before you start. There's a quotation, it says, understanding the question, if you have understood the question, you have already passed. You answer correct answers when you have understood the question. So I want you to pay attention. What I'm saying is that speak what you have summarized. Don't read. I will be observing some of you. Don't read. Speak what you have summarized in your own words to a friend. After that, the friend should also speak what he or she summarized to you. Now, after that, write some observations. Share your observation you had when you were speaking and when the friend was speaking to you in relation to developing verbal skills. What have you observed yourself? How were you, if you had some challenges, and then you have to record those challenges, But don't share what you have observed to the friend, Just observe, okay, what you observed in yourself. And also, what you observed from the friend when he was trying to speak, Tamvana? If the question is not clear, let's say it. Is the question clear? Okay. You speak, just orally speak. Yeah, what do you remember? Then you write observation. This one is private. You write observation. What do you observe from yourself when you are speaking? Were you clear, for example, complete or whatever? Maybe you had some challenges when you are speaking, and then I think when I was speaking, I forgot ABCD, or maybe I had this challenge, or maybe yeah. And then you write that off. Paswa, pamene mwapanga summary pale. Yeah. Have you liked the observations? Yes. Okay. Let's do this.
Exam itself.
I see. That's society likes. Since you said is divided by two, which is that's why as a language other way just
Observations
would be something that you observed yourself when you are speaking. What have you observed in yourself? might be challenges. Okay, maybe you had maybe a challenge of clarifying something, or and then also observation that you observed from your friend. Maybe you're struggling or did a nice job, but what you are going to record the observation, you don't show it to your friend.
Okay, like we often go down also
Okay, 2 minutes remaining. Okay. Thank you. The last thing that we are discussing is about note taking. This is not the first thing for you to do. Note taking is a method of recording temporary but essential information for greater performance. Okay, so when people are speaking or in a meeting or in discussions, you take some essential information. Not taking, you don't write everything that people were saying. You only capture essential what? Information. Okay? So there are some ways of doing or taking notes, different ways. This one I'll leave you to go and read in advance. I'll just explain some of them. And of course, if there are some pictures, I'll show. But I would like you guys to read and understand what is this method, what are the advantages, what are the disadvantages of each of these. You can use these notes because I have, write quite a lot about them. So we have about 5 methods. Maybe some of you read. You can tell us some of these 5 methods. Okay, we have outline method. Unfortunately for this one, outline method ndimene timagwisa kwambiri ntchito ku secondary tikafuna panga note taking, yeah, it uses the main heading, it uses what we call Roman letters, like the Roman letters like this one, okay, and then you put heading. Unfortunately those guys, they can't see, so I'll not use much the board. So use the Roman letter to do that. And then after that, you use letters to write the categories. Okay, so categories could be, for example, you have a subject, let's say agriculture, could be a heading, and crop farming or crop production could be a category, you know. Then a subtopic which are represented by the category is represented by numbers, and then for example you say crop farming, and then we have supporting or subcategories which are represented by letters. Could be, for example, commercial crops, and for example subsistence crops, or food crops. So you indicate like that, and then it becomes like an outline of the notes. Kusecondary mapuzia in a very strict way, and but here we are not learning in a strict way, because you are going to use this in meetings when and then you are trying to take some short notes, some notes that you can use maybe later on, or you can refer later on. So when you are doing contract agreements, you might write these notes. Okay, what about this? What about this? On this, what did he say? And then you do some notes like that. So that's about the outline method. And then the second one is Cornell method. Cornell method, it's you divide a page in three. You might see an example if the picture is clear. I might also send some of the pictures for you to be able to see. So this is your page, okay? Your page. Anyway, so you have a page like this. There'll be one big column where you are going to write as much as possible, okay? Randomly, you'll be just writing, okay, said about this, they said about this. And then there's a small column where you can put some questions that, were coming in your head, or maybe that people ask, For example, maybe you are discussing about, let's say, crop production. Maybe a question would be, so what crops can we grow in Malawi? Maybe in terms of commercial advice. And then this is where you write general thoughts or ideas that were coming in the meeting. Here, you write questions that were coming. Here, you write summary. Now, after discussing all this, what was the summary of the meeting? What has really stand off from the discussions? So this is called Cornell method. Unfortunately, the markers are not doing enough, but that's the Cornell method. You see one of the pictures. Apart from Cornell method, we have what we also call it as mapping method, which is most used method of taking notes. So the mapping method you have a central idea, okay? So for example, a central idea would be agriculture, and then there are some arrows pointing to the central ideas or coming from the central idea. So for example, would be so what did maybe people will say, okay, we are going to discuss about agriculture in Malawi. Let's maybe hear about crop production. What is happening in crop production? And then you are trying to write some ideas about crop production, animal production, things are not working. And I have one in my bag. And can actually move. This is the central idea, and there might be some allos, some ideas that are coming from the discussion. There can be as many allos. For example, from this there will be another allo. From this there will be another allo. You know. So you are trying to generate some ideas from the conversation. You are able to keep some notes from that. So it's about the mapping method. The other one, this one is very easy, and most of us we usually use this method when in our dealings. Like for me, I usually like to, using the mapping method. Of course, it has its own disadvantages, but I usually love using mapping method. And then we have what we call boxing method. So the boxing method, you have a page. So you have a page, and then you divide your page in 3 columns. Okay. So there is one, the first column, the second, which means each column takes a particular heading or an idea. So for example, here you'll be talking about crop production. Here you'll be talking about, let's say, animal production. Here you are going to be talking about economics of agriculture, you know, the markets, and as well as policies. Sorry. Don't worry. Yeah. No, so this is called what? Boxing method. So you write your ideas in each of these. And then there's the last one, which is called the charting method. Okay? But the charting method is very complex because you use also columns, but you make a number of columns. For example, you can have a column like this one, and then you divide the page, you know, in different columns, and you record your notes in each of these columns. So if you can ask me which ones are, you know, recommendable in business meetings when you are having conversations, 2 are very important. The first one is the mapping method. It helps you to generate a lot of ideas when you are, you know, when you are in the meeting, in the discussions, in the conversations. And the second one is the outline method. You can capture as many things as possible in the outline. You remember about the outline one, eh? Yeah, okay. So I will show some of the examples. Unfortunately, it's not complete, but this is how an outline method looks like. So you have Roman letter, which is I, preparing, and then you have category 1, which is A, mental preparation, and then it has subcategory 1, which is do assignments, subcategory 2, which has a review syllabus, and then of course you have some, you can use bullets, you can use bulletins, I mean, you can use dashes, you can change. It's not like you have to start with Roman letter or whatever. Those are just standard things, but you can try, you can use whatever you want. You can start with 1, you can start with either you put the heading as B, or anything that you can like to use. But just make sure that there is heading, there is category 1, there is subcategory, and then supporting points for that. So you can come up with some notes when you are doing it. And this is the Cornell method. Unfortunately, this is the big column that I was saying. This one is the small column I was talking about. At the end, below, or at the bottom of these 2 columns, there is what? The summary notes, where you can put your notes. But I will share good pictures about these things so that you can refer easily. This is the mapping method. So the central idea is about 5 W's and H, okay? And then there are what? Some ideas. Questions like what, where, when, who, why, and how. And then there are some ideas explaining about each of the idea. But the central idea is the 5 W's. But this one is also clear. You can use, you cannot format like that. You can, change it. You can use arrows, you can use strings and what. But then the idea is that there's a central idea, then there are some ideas supporting or explaining this central idea. And those ideas have also explanations, and that explanation might be questions as well. And this was the boxing method, which has columns, and each column has a particular idea it is talking about. The picture is not also well formatted. So this one is the last one that I said, the charting method, that it has a number of columns, rows, and one, and it's usually complex. Now, in 12 minutes we are remaining with, you have this work to do. So try to put what you have summarized in the previous exercise in any of the note-taking format. Compare what you have summarized, spoken, and composed in the note-take format if they are the same. Okay? And then after that, consider the following questions. Has your understanding about the subject of civilization increased or it hasn't increased? Which one has helped you to understand better the subject? Is it doing summary? Is it speaking to someone? Or is it by taking notes, composing the notes? Which personal communication skill do you think has begun to become clear to you after this exercise? Is it the skill of speaking, the skill of taking notes, or the skill of effectively listening and trying to summarize what the speaker is saying? Now read what you summarized to your friend. Of course, you have already done this, so you are not doing it. And submit what you have done from the first exercise of this session to the last one for grading. So you are going to choose one method. Either you are going to use mapping, you are going to use Cornell method, or whatever. Don't copy the questions, eh? You say 1, then you write, okay? 2, you write the answer. 3, not 4, and 5 is not a question. So you only have 3 questions there. Akanje. Babu, no? Oboya uzata. Ndimo ya kawasha tagara babu. Abande exercise, eh? Awa wagande exercise. They just want to sit.
For the exercise.
Actually, it's hard exercise because you have to start from the first minute of the class. So maybe I think we can just use the library because we just have 10 minutes now, eh? Yeah. Sure. All right. Of course, we can actually meet, and then I'll explain to you what we have done so that you can also benefit from that. Eh? Okay. Tonan, eh? Yeah.
You should take a paper.
Where we are writing the summary, because I will need that summary, the observation, and that one together.
Where's the member summary? No remember my questions or Japanese right. Those who are
the summary, what you observed, and those questions, and that one. You can choose where to write, but I will need the exercise. Let me handle the other completes first. I didn't say summarize. You put what you summarized. Put that thing in note-taking format. You choose one. Simple one. And then you answer those 2 questions. Yeah? Yeah, that's what we are discussing. Which one started? Okay. Yeah, on paper. Yeah, you in not making format. You choose either mapping and then you just draw whatever or simple. So it means the content when the note making should be short than from the summary. Let me also. Ladies and gentlemen, for the note taking, make sure that the content on the note making format is less than on the summary. Summary is big thing. Note taking is just few things, eh? Yeah. So don't try like you are, transferring from this to there.
Yeah,
Individual, but you can also assist each other. No. Transfer what you have summarized into a note-taking format. So you're discussing about civilization. Just choose one format and then try to do a note-taking. I will need individual papers, but you can you can help each other as a group.
for exercise, you as you understand
yeah, however that is ready, yes, you should be called with that much dimension. Everyone number 3 is just.
Has your understanding about the subject increased? Yes or no?
Yes, it
Which one
has.
has helped you to understand better the subject? Is it taking notes? Is it summarizing? No? Is it by speaking to someone? Which personal communication skills do you think has your business? You might not be. Anyway,
Outlining,
the outline amount, either mapping, either outline method. Azoteka. Ndokozana abava moti zikutheka ba visa ndithwili veda abava ba maya ase api So after you have finished, most of you have done if you've been noting. There are only 3 questions here to be clear. There's one, 2, and 3. Has your understanding about the subject increased? The subject is civilization, eh? Has it increased? Yes or no? You ask. Don't you copy the question. Just say question 1, yes or no. 2, which one has helped you to understand better the subject? Is it by effectively listening, and doing summary notes, or by speaking to someone or hearing someone speaking about the subject? You were in groups or in pairs, or is it through taking notes that has actually helped you to understand the subject of civilization? And then you identify one. 3, which personal communication skill do you think has begun to become clear to you after this exercise? Is it is it about effectively listening and trying to write summary notes? Is it speaking, being able to speak about the subject? Is it taking notes? Try to observe yourself. Those are the 3 questions. Don't copy the questions, just write the answers. So when handing over, you hand to me the summary you did, the first lesson, and the first exercise, the observations that I asked you to do, and then the note taking, and those 3 questions. If you think you have done, and then you can start meeting here. If you think you are done, just raise your hand. How much you can come and collect your exercise books if you have written exercise book.
Pajajumako Avelina
Wow, nine. What you understand about the subject. Email you to Nagasaki.